There is always someone talking about the next recession. And so I want to share what I learned from the last recession. My name is Matt Reiner, and today I want to talk through 3 things that I learned from the last recession. First, when the boat's going down, hold on tight. When the boat is steady, that's when we make changes. That's item number 1. What do I mean by that? Well, first, it means that when things are falling is not the time for us to change our allocation. That's not the time for us to start selling. Because as we saw in the last recession, that if you did do that, you did not recover as quickly. But in reality, when you feel so good about your investment portfolio, or when you feel so good about the markets, that's when you should start remembering how you felt during the last drop in the markets and start to make some adjustments. Because it's when things are steady that we adjust, not when things are falling. Item number 2 that I learned is that things do not go down forever. Gosh, this is a tough one for us to believe when the markets are falling or the economy is blowing up. We always think there is no end in sight. This is never going to turn. This time is different. The Great Recession was one of those times where it was the most unique situation we had since the Great Depression. And yet, we're here 13 years later, and we're okay. We're fine. Things are better. Nobody tends to think back to those times as much anymore because we've gotten through them. And the markets have gone up, and they've exceeded where they were at the time of the height pre the Great Recession. Things do not go down forever, and just like they don't go down forever, they also don't go up forever, so have that expectation. Finally, the third item I learned was what caused the last recession likely will not cause the next recession. We get so tied into what led us into the downside from the last recession. For instance, housing. Everybody says that housing is going to continue to drive us again. And so we continue to hone our focus in on the housing market. And when things get a little bit frothy in the housing side, we worry that the recession is coming because of a recency bias. We remember that the last recession was driven by housing. But we don't remember that in 2000, 2001, it was driven by a tech boom and bust. And then in 87, it was a loan crisis. So what caused the last recession won't necessarily cause the next one, and it is very difficult to predict what the next recession will be. And so as an investor and as an advisor, we have to remember all these lessons, not only to set the proper expectations with our clients, but to also ensure that their allocation meets their financial goals, knowing that there will be more ups and downs in the market, and ensuring that mentally our clients are prepared to hold tight when things go wrong so that they can ensure reaching their financial goals when things rebound. Because what caused the last one won't happen again. Things won't go down forever. And when the boat is going down, hold on tight. And once it steadies is when you make things right. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to this channel now to continue to get alerts on all the new content that we're putting out. And if you want more written and podcast and video content, head on over to mattreiner.com. That's MattReiner.com.